Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the FlippingMadeEasy.com studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. Your host, of course, Sturch, Gooch, and of course, Dina Simpson as our producer in the house as well. I know you're happy because finally we have official word from the GOAT himself who came out today and said he's retiring. Tom Brady is walking away from the league. But before we do that, you can leave that up there, Dina. That's all fine and good. I just want to promote, obviously, what we have over here at Chop Sports, patreon.com/Chop Sports. I appreciate you all, every single one of you guys who have contributed $1 to this company. It's an amazing thing, and thank you so much. We're completely humbled, and yeah, just thank you and keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it. And of course, the YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, like this video as you're watching it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. We picked up a couple more subs overnight. I am literally I'm going absolutely batshit nuts with the please subscribe thing. It's just like, I know there's a documentary about this somewhere, like your whole life is consumed in like making sure somebody subscribed to your YouTube channel.
I think it's called Social Dilemma. That's literally
that's just showing you that you're getting tracked, basically. Like everybody knows what you're doing with your life and when they can.
Did you actually watch that show?
Oh yeah,
that movie. Yeah,
it was great.
There's more to it than just being tracked. It does show,
Yeah.
What we're doing.
Good morning.
We're trying to be the what's in the phone. That's us. We're trying to control your lives.
I guess. I mean,
subscribe to us.
We're trying to do like different things, right? Just subscribe to the network. So
also follow me on Twitter.
Yeah,
I tweet
Chris
like once every 3 weeks.
Yeah, Chris is trying to build the Twitter following up a little bit, but shout out to the people watching right now. Scoop came in, AJ, Mark, Stimmy OG, Ken Paulman. You're all in the chat right now. Good morning to you guys. As we have finally come to terms with the end of an era, Tom Brady has announced his retirement via his own social media. That's how he's supposed to be doing it. That's how it's supposed to be done. I'm going to go in right now real quick before we get into the Tom Brady stuff. For those of you who get on me for getting at Adam Schefter, here's the thing. Adam Schefter was my favorite reporter on TV, my favorite guy. He always had the scoop first. He always had the guy. He was the inside source. That dude has sold his soul lately, okay? He would rather be first than accurate. And in this case alone, he's first and he's accurate, right? But that shouldn't count. You shouldn't take a guess. That's like me or you saying like, oh, by the way, I'm going to put out a tweet right now. Aaron Rodgers retires from the NFL after 20 years or whatever the frig he's been playing. That's my tweet, okay? So people are going to be like, what? And Aaron Rodgers' people are going to be like, what? You don't get to do that. Like, what are you talking about? I'm fine. We're playing. I'm playing next year. Okay. And then say nothing about it. Right. And then Aaron Rodgers' father and then Aaron Rodgers' agent, they all come after not Adam Schefter in particular, not me in particular. They're saying like, oh, well, it's not those media guys don't know. Right. They don't know the answer. Right. You're right. They don't know the answer. But if I'm wrong, right, I'm not about like even if I'm right, why would I want to be the guy to spoil that moment for Tom Brady? Or Aaron Rodgers.
So
like I get it. Listen, look, I went to school for journalism, right? I know what the rules are of journalism. You got to have at least 2 credible sources for you to report something. Report, not give your critiques, not give your opinions. Adam Schefter would have saved a lot of face if he would have said, you know what? I got a feeling Tom Brady's about to announce something, and I'm thinking he's leaning towards retirement. That's his opinion. He's entitled to it.
ESPN pays Adam Schefter to be exactly the way he is. And the beauty of hating Adam Schefter in my world is that I don't give a shit if anybody approves or doesn't approve. Fuck Adam Schefter. He's a hack. Rube, I love it. First and accurate, impressive journalism. Go Shefty, go. I gotta look. When even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, obviously Adam Schefter is the go-to. He works for ESPN. So by default, Adam Schefter is the guy a lot of people go to. But I don't have respect for him, and that's just my take.
And Rube coming in thinking Schefter didn't have sources. Everybody has a source. Like one of my favorite reporters, Jane Slater for the Dallas Cowboys. I know for a fact she has specific sources within the organization.
With this particular case, though, with Schefter, it's like obviously Schefter has his sources, because even with the Rodgers stuff, a lot of that turned out to be true. I'm just saying with the timing of everything and Adam Schefter being who he is, I guess in this case is like you expect the guy to sit on a story as he's proven to do in the past, because he did that with the Rodgers situation. So being first about reporting that Tom Brady's going to retire and then him retiring 2 days later, like it was actually reported first by Jeff Darlington, but Adam Schefter picked it up. I'm confused by the whole thing. I guess being first is obviously important, but
but you already have your credibility. You already have everybody knows who Adam Schefter is.
I think we're making
it's like when Woj does his thing. It's a Woj bomb,
making
right?
a mountain of a molehill. I think Schefter sucks because he works for ESPN. I don't think that he's going to get any better anytime soon. If anything, it's going to get far, far worse. And this particular case is just another case in the long history of him being the way he is, but it's more so now than it's ever been because ESPN sucks more so now than they ever have.
I even commented as Chop Sports Media on Barstool, and Barstool put it out there. I was like, I'd rather hear this from you guys than hear it from Adam Schefter right now because of this. AJ Bascone came in with a report about him signing a one-day contract with the Patriots. That's now false, according to what he just Scheftied himself. He basically came out and said it wasn't right. Look, I think he's leaving ESPN and joins a gambling company soon.
I mean, possibly.
Schefter,
like,
what does that mean?
Schefter,
like,
meaning his contract is up.
No, I know I know that means, but I'm like, what do you mean gambling?
Like Barstool?
Like he could pretty much just go where the
Barstool's
highest,
not really
the
good.
highest
They have
bidder.
a gaming,
There's
but
DraftKings. There's a lot of look.
Yeah, but they don't do reporting.
We'll see. We'll see how
Unless
things
he's
are
about
going
to
to
change
go.
the game for one of these other.
Things are definitely trending in that direction where that's the content that people want to consume.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Schefter not work for ESPN.
That would be great. If he was an independent dude, I'd probably like him a lot.
I think he's a yes man. He's a mole at this point. I do not like Adam Schefter.
But just imagine, I'm trying to think of
a
real life.
Bro,
look, I'm only harping on because the people that are in my circle of people.
Who gives a shit what people fucking say?
I know, but it's just annoying, bro. It's annoying when you employ yourself with a company like where I'm at with Blogging the Boys. That makes me mad when they're like, "Oh, Dave, you're wrong for doing this."
I'd much rather address the fact that Tom Brady didn't mention the Patriots at all.
That was another
retirement speech.
That was another
retirement
crazy.
post. That's a beautiful thing. I could finally officially say without hesitation that Tom Brady, you are the GOAT for that one, because the only reason why I actually hate Tom Brady, other than the fact that his success makes me ill, is that he had all that success with the Patriots. Like, it could have been anybody winning 7 rings and it would have made me sick because, like, enough is enough.
Right.
10 Super Bowl appearances. But because it was the city of Boston that inherited all those championships via Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, them getting burned, the fans that traveled with him to Tampa. Maybe that's why he didn't actually thank the New England fans, because all his New England fans are now Tampa Bay fans. And I guess the big question is, other than the fact that we don't know what their coach is going to do now, we don't know who their quarterback is that what's going to happen to all these Tampa Bay fans now that Tom Brady is gone? Are you going to go back?
You got to go back to New England.
It's cold up there, bro.
I know.
It's cold up in New England, bro.
It's hilarious. Like, again, one of these things I can't really.
Also, happy birthday to my brother.
Oh,
Tom Brady retired on your birthday.
Crazy
what
Carl.
A fucking birthday
Crazy
present.
Carl. Happy
Although
birthday,
Tom
bro.
Brady does, I mean, my brother does really like Tom Brady. I think he's like, that's his one anti-me thing where he's like, I know I hate the Red Sox, but I've always respected Tom Brady. That's my brother's take. Me personally, I just have nothing but hatred.
I'm trying to think of like why, like, I think Kyle brought it up in the group chat saying like maybe because he already did his goodbye to New England, like when he went to the Bucks, or that's why he doesn't have to re-acknowledge them. But they're not re-acknowledged. Like you're looking at your entire career, right, as a whole. He thanked the guys from Michigan. He thanked obviously his family, right? He thanks the Bucks fans, Arians, all these guys. He didn't mention once, not one time, Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, or the Patriots. That's crazy.
And like there is a post from Tom Brady from 2 years ago when he did leave New England. So I understand that side of it. But now things are becoming final. Like it's over now. And a reflection on your entire career, I think, is due to have a 10-page scroll about the Bucks and the organization, and then have your Michigan family and then your actual family, but not mention the fans.
Oh,
I think that's really what it goes down to. Yes, he does go into the Hall of Fame as a Patriot. I don't know that he actually gets to decide that. I think that.
Can you imagine? And I know we mentioned this before. The 2027 Hall of Fame class. Let's just say Rodgers decides, you know what? I'm tired.
Shut up. I said that before, and I guess I'll let you have this one because, like, I did make the statement, and there's a 0% chance that I would ever say this on the podcast.
Hold on for a second.
Go ahead.
We had this conversation, and I'm just saying.
I know, and it
I'm
makes
not trying to break news. I just know in 2027,
listen
Brady,
to Dave. Listen to Dave doing his best Adam Schefter impersonation right now. Aaron Rodgers retires. Did you just say that on air?
If he retired and said, "I don't want to do it anymore,"
I'm trying to lighten the mood.
I'm just saying, if he felt like, you know what, I'm tired of it. I don't want to go through this offseason again. I'm done too, right? And Rodgers retires. 2027's Hall of Fame class could potentially be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Rob Gronkowski, because you know that weirdo isn't sticking around without Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger, all in the same class. Crazy. That means the Hall of Fame game would officially be the Patriots versus the Packers or something to that effect.
We do have Rube saying, have Dina pull up Schefter's likes on Twitter. Dude has receipts. Dude has kept receipts. I guess he's going back at people now for roasting him the last 2 days.
I hope he roasts me. I need the credibility,
but
bro.
my point being is that you can't do that, bro, because you've been wrong. You've been wrong in these situations. And honestly, look, let's not talk about Adam Schefter anymore. We're putting that one to bed. I'm making the executive decision.
Oh, executive decisions here. But anyway, Hall of Fame class.
There's so many good things to talk about today with Brady and Arians.
Correct.
And like what's going on.
Correct.
To sit here and talk about a guy that we both don't like, I think that's giving him too much.
Okay.
Not that he needs.
So Brady retires with 624 touchdown passes, first of all time.
Yeah.
203 interceptions. So he's not perfect. He's not a machine. He's a man. This is the one that really blew me away. 84,520 yards, first all time. Gooch, will these records ever be touched? Ever?
Yes.
Yes. You think because why? Because of its passing league kind of deal?
Well, there's a couple factors here.
84,000
There's
yards.
a couple factors
He's
here.
got 30,000 more than
look, and I know
Rodgers.
that it's going to take a long time and a lot of good football by a lot of these guys, but we're just talking about numbers here, right? So you look at a guy like Rodgers, fine, right? As far as yards go, but look at Matthew Stafford.
He's right under Rodgers.
Right under Rodgers.
Right, literally.
I think he's like 4 or 5 years younger than Rodgers, and now entering a situation where he looks like he might be playing for like 5-6 more years. So Brady's done 6 more years at 4,000 yards. For
24,000 being generous,
right? So he's now approaching that rare air. A guy like a Joe Burrow, right? And I know, like I said, a lot of football, a lot of things have to go right. But
you mean the GOAT?
The nature of the league right now, where quarterbacks don't get touched, you're going to start to see them able to play very, very long into their careers. And now, also, you combine that with the fact that if you look at Brady's numbers by season earlier in his career, they're not that gaudy. Like, he's had some standout seasons, but he played in New England with a largely like running system and a defensive team. Brady wasn't out there throwing it all around. It's a little bit of like having really great seasons, but there's some compiling going on with Tom Brady. I say that with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, he was winning in the postseason, and it wasn't like he was just an irrelevant player. I don't mean like compiling like Dan Marino, or some people would say like an A-Rod, where he's not having his moments in big moments. Like, obviously Tom Brady's played a lot of important football games, but look at the averages, and you look at what the average quarterback throws in a year now, it's like 1,000 yards more, a full 1,000 yards more on average than it was when Brady started in this league. So there is a very, very big difference in terms of the way the league is called now, the way the quarterbacks are being treated, the way the refs are calling games, the way offenses are running their systems. And then you got a guy like Joe Burrow, who's now 22 years old. He's got his guy that he threw to in college, and they're already setting records. Yeah, I think that there's definite a possibility that all of Brady's records will fall.
Brady, except for according to Rue, Brady has more touchdowns in his 40s than his 20s.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Well, that's lends to the point that I'm making anyway, is that if Tom Brady could put up his best numbers statistically, you could look at Brett Favre too. Brett Favre had one of the best statistical careers in the history of the game, and then all of a sudden they really, really altered the rules, and they put him, when he goes to Minnesota, he had his 2 best seasons statistic, or as one, I should say, because the last year there was not good.
It's almost like the adage of like a 300-yard passing game used to be the pinnacle, right? That if you had a 300-yard game, you were the man. Now,
the last thing I think
you bumped it to 400.
The last thing I look at when I'm looking at a quarterback stats, unfortunately, is yards. I know that matters in terms of fantasy points and things like that, but yeah, efficiency matters a lot more. And if you look at Tom Brady's career, basically as a whole, he's been largely more efficient than he's been in terms of like pitching it around. So Brady's career, more so the body of work, lends to my point. You know, he's been fairly efficient and getting big plays, winning on third down, things like that are what matters in the NFL. Throwing for a bunch of yards when either you're up a ton or down a ton, that doesn't matter to me.
All right, Stimmy OG coming in. You know how when a running back has a great season, he buys the offensive line Rolexes. The Bengals offensive line is buying Burrow one. Yeah, I know. Talking about Burrow, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, look, Brady walks away, the greatest of all time. There's no question about it. He leads all the statistical big
Also,
categories.
look at Mahomes' numbers through like 4 years.
As far as what? Totals?
As far as everything, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably going to chase that because
if he plays 13 more years at any even remotely close to these numbers, Mahomes is going to beat
his
Brady's
average
numbers.
like air yards is like 20 per pass. You know what I mean? He doesn't throw a lot of balls underneath. And you know, these receivers don't get yak like everybody else.
That said, 44 years old. You know, these guys are going to have to play a lot of football.
I don't know if like Tom Brady definitely, I would say, took advantage of the rules. You know, basically like, you know, quarterbacks can't get touched anymore. I could do this a little bit longer. And I know that's the mentality of a guy like a Rodgers or a guy like Big Ben, who looked like he couldn't throw the ball farther than 7 yards at one point. But he knew that like in the last couple of years of his career, he's like, you know, I get beat up a lot, but maybe not so much anymore. So that's why Brady had this idea that like, I could just keep going because I can sling it. You know, my dad, who's 60 plus years old, when we play football, he could sling it. You know, he could, you know what I'm saying? Like, the arm strength doesn't go away right away. It's the accuracy. It's the management of the time. But like, you know, I'm just saying Brady could have done this if he chose to. He could have done this a couple more years in reality.
Look, I don't know.
I'm not saying he's walking away at the wrong time, but
I don't know that Tom Brady could have done it. I think that a lot of things have to be working right for a guy at his age with the success that he's had. And I'm not saying like physically he couldn't have gone out there but I think what you would have saw is a decline. Like Father Time is undefeated.
Always.
Brady, I guess you could say Father Time is still undefeated, but Brady tied Father Time, right? We'll call it that. Like
he went neck.
We need to
neck,
change the fucking overtime rules on this one though, because you know we got to get Tom Brady this L, right? But in reality, look, Tom Brady takes his team into the playoffs. Did they win a game? They won a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, beat up on Philly.
So they again, 44 years old, and he wins a playoff game.
Gives you hope.
Tom Brady.
The NFC is going to look very, very different next year. I mean, with Brady out, look at that NFC South by itself. The best quarterback right now, my opinion, in the NFC South is Matt Ryan. Think about it. You know, you're looking at the future of the Bucs right now on the depth chart. Right now, QB1 is listed as Blaine Gabbert. We know who he is. You know, and right behind him is Trask. You know, like. They don't have a quarterback.
Dare I say the Jimmy G rumors will start. If they already hadn't started, I haven't been online.
I got a list here.
I haven't been online, but I could guarantee you that's going to be the thing that you see most.
Jimmy G, Derek Carr, even though McDaniels came out and said like, hey, we can win with Derek Carr. That's very, very vanilla. You know, like things can change. Derek Carr, I'm thinking about Kirk Cousins. You know, the Bucs are built right now to win right now. They're not in this like rebuild mode, right? Even though they're going to, you know, lose some parts here and there.
Rodgers.
Could
you imagine?
You want to start that rumor? Go for it.
I'd rather start that.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'd rather start that
Bay.
rumor. Like, let's see if we can get that rumor some legs, right? Let's just see.
Let's just do it. Yeah, why not? Let's put it on Twitter and say, look, sources have said, I have a source within the organization that Aaron Rodgers would love to play in Tampa Bay with
but the
Chris
only
Godwin
thing,
and
the
Mike
only
Evans.
thing is, no, they also have to sign Devontae Adams, and now apparently that there's a new demand. There's a new demand. Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Aaron Rodgers are a package deal, as well as Devontae Adams. So if you do want Aaron Rodgers, you have to sacrifice and take a guy that fumbles every third play.
What a huge sacrifice to bring in Devontae Adams. How silly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Take the Gronk style deal and raise you one.
Right. Oh, Russell Wilson. What about Russell Wilson?
Being facetious, guys.
What? Yeah, Russell Wilson could be another rumored. Hey, Sierra, right? And we're just gonna go to Tampa Bay because it's really nice and sunny. It's not rainy like shitty ass Seattle.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is up against it right now because I know that they don't.
Well, they opened up $20 million.
Yes, but they went from probably the most attractive place for a potential free agent to play to now all of their pending free agents being like, well, I'm out, A, and B, they don't have a quarterback. And now that brings me to my next question. If you're Bruce Arians, what do you do going forward? obviously there's a lot of money on the table for him. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, so he's going to maybe stick around to get paid. But you got a guy like Byron Leftwich, who I obviously think is sticking around for to be the heir apparent there. And at Bruce Arians' age, I'm not so sure that you're going to see Bruce Arians stick around for much longer, maybe one more year. But I would say he's in a lame duck year at this point. I'm not sure what his contract situation is, but he's in his 70s.
Right.
So how much longer he might
not want to go through the whole let's find a quarterback ordeal. You're going to have to land somebody. I just thought of somebody. And this is going to sound a little ridiculous, I think. I mean, like, again, you can't rule out anything in the world of possibilities. For Christ's sakes, I almost said for crying out loud. For Christ's sakes, Tom Brady left New England and went to Tampa, right? So, like, crazier things have happened. What if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get on the horn with an impending free agent and say, Jameis, bro, come on back. Come on back, Jameis. We see that you got the LASIK thing going on now. You might not throw 30 interceptions. Come on back down.
I'll tell you what that would do.
And your coach is going to be Byron Leftwich.
I'll tell you what it will do for me. The Tampa Bay would be like, they're losing guys as opposed because Jameis Winston is going to cost more than the $20 million that they got Brady for this past season, right? He's going to cost probably at least $5 to $10 million more than that. I would imagine
Definitely
Jameis is going to get paid.
Yeah.
Not a crazy contract, but Jameis Winston's going to get paid.
He'll get
right?
20-ish a year, maybe.
I don't know about 20,
that
but
either,
like,
actually.
but the thing is, he's going to get some years. I don't see Jameis taking another team-friendly deal like he did with the
Drinking
Saints.
problem.
I think at this point, it's time for him to get paid, and I would take every single Buck receiver in fantasy football. I would take Jameis Winston as a back-end number one in fantasy football as the starting quarterback for the Bucks. Back with Bruce Arians throwing the ball over the field. But then I would also expect to see Bruce Arians bench Jameis Winston mid-game in week 6.
Does he take his shirt off and run off the field?
No.
Because he's got all
Jameis Winston will put on the
facilities.
headset, and I see Jameis Winston as a future coach in the league.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's something about the guy. I think people like him. His teammates all like him, and he's a hard worker.
The
A
whole
little
finger,
unorthodox, but
the fingers
look, bro,
thing is just...
Jameis Winston is a very likable guy. I have not heard one of Jameis's teammates ever have a bad thing to say about him.
Agreed. Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, I mean, look, as far as Bruce Arians is concerned, I think that he's not going to want to be a part of a rebuilding thing. So if you can subsidize and bring in a veteran quarterback right now, then he'll stay. You know, but if you say like, look, we got Blaine, we got the draft, we'll see what happens. Then I'm thinking Bruce Arians like resets his little heart monitor that he's got going on there and says, you know what?
I think that we're discounting money in this factoring in the money in this aspect though. Like when you're due to get paid $10 million to go coach football, you know, it's not necessarily all about winning. Like his legacy is pretty much cemented. He's got the Super Bowl. So to stick around and coach and deal with the bullshit, it's like, okay, that's life. You're going to deal with that. You could go on TV and make some money possibly.
But Brady just walked away from $20 million to play football.
Yeah, but Tom Brady just started Brady brand. You're seeing his sweatshirts go for $95 per.
What?
Yeah. So Tom Brady's fine. All right.
What?
Tom Brady's going to make as much money off the field than he made on the field, and rightfully so, which we'll get into the whole Mount Rushmore thing maybe later on in the week.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. But since we're talking about this topic, I had something in terms of what will Bruce Arians do? What will keep Bruce Arians around? Like if they can handpick a guy to replace Tom Brady, you know, I saw a question on Twitter yesterday. If you could take any player from any team and add them to your team, who would it be? I know the answer you could pull up the graphic now, I think. You know,
I think. There it is.
I had to
Who would you add? Fantasy
I had to
time.
throw Joe Shiesty on the graphic because it's Joe Burrow week after all.
It
right?
is Joe Burrow week. Joe Burrow.
So I'm going to answer the question for all the Patriots/Bucks fans out there. And the answer to the question for the Bucks would be you clearly add Joe Burrow. And this is the premise of the game is like you could pick any player in the NFL and add them to your team the way it's constructed as current.
But do you lose the position? Like, are you just adding or do you have to cut somebody too?
No. You just add
Just
a player.
adding one guy.
Add a player. That guy gets relegated to the bench.
Oh, man. Okay. Do you have one in mind for the Packers?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, Joe.
Fuck.
So with Aaron Rodgers on the contract, dude? I mean,
yeah, bro. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? He's Joe Shiesty. He's in the Super Bowl right now. He's now, and look, let's be real. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's on his way. Aaron Rodgers is better right now. That said, That said, Joe Burrow is 22, Aaron Rodgers is 38. We're having this conversation about, is Rodgers going to retire this year and be on the same? So yeah, I'll take Joe Burrow over Aaron Rodgers right now. This is not. Now, if we're talking about going out and winning next year, you can still make the case for Joe Burrow over Rodgers in terms of intangibles and things like that, because let's call it what it is. Aaron Rodgers hasn't won a big game, and Joe Burrow now has, right?
Crazy. Yeah, and shout out to the people that are like, Joe Burrow has won more playoff games in 5 days than Dak Prescott has in 6 years. Shut up.
No. They're all allowed to say that. You want to know why?
Like, why bring him up? Get us out your mouth.
No. They're allowed to do that, and you have to just take it, because that's nothing, bro. Joe Burrow has won more championship games than Aaron Rodgers has won in 14 years or 13 years. So guess what? I got to fucking eat that. That's what I'm saying right now. It's like, you can still make the case for Burrow over Rodgers, even in a next season situation only.
Okay.
So yeah, Joe Burrow is my guy.
It's a good question for the people that are watching. Definitely chime in. I know Kyle just added, he's adding Aaron Donald to the Cowboys defensive line. I did write down Aaron Donald. I did, actually, as one of them. I wrote a couple down. Aaron Donald's a game wrecker. I don't care what.
When I was making the graphic, I was actually trying to fit Aaron Donald into the middle.
You can't.
Right
He's
here,
just so
he
big.
was so big,
so wide,
creepy.
So if you
again, Aaron Donald and Joe
right.
Burrow are the only answers for a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
Maybe you could pick another young D lineman or game wrecker. Maybe.
Yeah, Scoop's coming in everything to the Jaguars. No.
Maybe
Scoop.
Ramsey to the Jaguars. Jalen Ramsey.
Did they have him once upon a time? That's right. They traded him away.
All right. So this is even more fun to do for other teams, because, I don't have any skin in the game there. Honestly, Micah Parsons might make the list for the Packers for me.
Yeah. Jalen Smith. I mean, you wasted his good career.
I didn't say Jalen Smith. I said Micah Parsons. All right. So
I would honestly,
you could make the
as
case.
Aaron Donald, I'm looking up and down the Cowboys roster right now, and this is going to sound ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. But like you're like, yo, you can add any player in the NFL to your team right now. Evan McPherson is my new kicker. Ice in his veins, bro. Don't miss field goals in big moments. But no, that's not my guy. I would honestly add, everything starts up front, and I'm looking at this Cowboys roster, and I'm like, I still like Zeke and I like Pollard. I don't need anything there. And I still like CeeDee Lamb and Cooper and Gallup. I like my receivers. But yeah, you think about like, I would love to take Devontae Adams. It all works up front. Give me like Quentin Nelson. Give me Quentin Nelson on the offensive line to go across. Like, you got guard Zach Martin, guard Quentin Nelson, Tyler Biadasz is their center. But like, that offensive line would give all the room in the world for those guys to run.
I'm sorry, Dave.
What?
But you're fired.
I'm fired, right?
You're fired. You were no longer the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. And I say this to you, that you get any choice at any player in the entire league, and you take
an offensive, the best guard in football outside of Zach Martin.
You need to take the best tackle in football.
Fine.
But you do not take an interior lineman over everyone else. That's just
trying
crazy.
To give some love to the big.
It's just crazy talk.
I'm just trying to give some love. But
yes, you are still fired though. So
okay.
And we'll enjoy the guard while you're gone. But like, we'll be like, this was, I guess it like worked out. But like, then as you see someone,
this is what he brought in.
Yeah, you're gonna see. There's like a quarterback out there, and I know as you watch Dak throw a pick, and David on Twitter defending him, right? Out of a job, mind you, right?
Yeah. Unemployed, right? Dave sitting on the
while
street.
There's Joe Burrow, just happens to be in his third consecutive AFC Championship game. Yeah.
All right.
No guards allowed on this list.
All right. So no guards. All right. Then I'll have to go to. I would have to say, defensive wise, I like my corner. You know what, though? Opposite of him. So give me 2 lockdown corners. Is that allowed? Trayvon Diggs is one of them. And then you add like a Jalen Ramsey on the other side. Is that it?
Yeah, but then you need 2 lockdown corners. Who's going to be your other one? You have Ramsey. You have Ramsey, but then
you're such a dick. Oh, man. Mark said, I'll trade you Dalton, Foles, Robinson, and a case of Canadian beer for Rodgers.
And
poutine? What poutine?
Poutine is gravy on French fries. It's Canadian.
Oh, that's our boy Mark. Okay, yeah, from Canada. Okay, yeah. He would trade a whole shit ton. I guess he's a Bears fan. Didn't know that. But now he wants Aaron Rodgers.
And you still want to keep Justin Fields in that whole deal. I do love Allen Robinson. And this was another question.
See, thanks, Mike, throwing shade on Diggs. What a jerk off. Bro, I'm sorry. Look, the yards, yes, right, but 11 interceptions. Come on, man. You can't even.
Look,
I've
said this all
take
along.
Jair.
I've said I would, and you would probably too.
I wouldn't.
I've said this all along. Diggs is a good corner, but he's not a great corner. And we'll see what Diggs is about.
You guys are naming a lot of ex-Jacks.
That's why the Jacks suck.
Oh man, and I'd be remiss. Ashley is our well, yeah, I gotta label this. This is like the social. This is like the YouTube.
She's the comments
coordinator.
She's the gatekeeper.
She is the. I like that gatekeeper. I guess you're the key master then. That's the way it works.
I don't know, Ash.
What do you want to tell Joe Burrow right now? Hey, take me to the Super Bowl,
baby.
Whatchamacallit? So, all right, yeah. So, like the video, please. If you're watching this, like the goddamn video. I really appreciate that. It helps us get the search going. But yeah. So anyway, Kyle, great job last night. Thank you. Yes, Kyle. Damn,
laid it down.
Oof.
My father.
Damn those Rockets.
I said my father asked me. He's like, "You guys going to talk basketball on the podcast today?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't know." He's
9 out of
no,
10?
because my father's now a piece of shit degenerate gambler, and NFL is over.
Clip that. Timestamp that.
The NFL is now over, so he thinks that he's like, you know what? I'm happy to be getting back into basketball again. I have not heard him say a good word about the NBA in 30 years, and now he's happy to get back into basketball again. That's what happens.
I know what's going to happen.
That's what happens when you go 9-1.
But I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go and I'm going to put my unit. Pause.
Glad you said it. And I didn't have
put my member. No, put my my small fraction of a unit. Just stop, Dave. Just stop talking. Cut this and just die off. No, I will put my $10, which is my equivalent to my unit, right? I'm going to go in on tonight's NBA slate, and Kyle's going to shit the bed. And I'm not calling Kyle a shitty gambler. I'm just saying that's gambling, right? I literally have in my account. I don't remember when I started. Do you remember when I started?
But this is why
I have the same amount right now. That means all the props that I hit, the prop bull went off, right? He gets all this money, but then I'm losing all this other shit, right? It's all give and take. I can't get ahead in the world of gambling. Now I feel like I shouldn't gamble anymore.
Two things. One, if you have been gambling for the past couple months and you're even, you're
all right.
You're doing fine.
That's where I'm at. I'm literally dead even.
You're not making any money, but I could almost guarantee you that, they are. Because they're playing the long-term game here, and to be involved in getting the 9-1 on a slate, you have to be there for the 5-5s and the 4-6s, and just be like, you know what, this is the long game that I'm playing here, and understand that your emotions don't matter on a Tuesday night. It's like at the end of the month, look at how much you made or how much you lost, and that's what you should.
Here we go. We're going crazy. We're going in. Here we go. We're gonna win all the money in the world. Look, I would love to see it happen. And you know what? Tonight, maybe I do play a little. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but Janine, shout out to her. She says $10 is her unit too. So she's cherry. I don't know if she's cherry. She probably plays the whole ticket. If there's 10 games, you're gambling $100 a night. You know what I mean? So if you win some, you lose some, whatever. I've obviously cherry picked way too much because I think if I would have rode every single bet that this guy puts out there, I would have been up like he says he is, according to the Sauce Network. You know what I mean? He says he puts it out there. It's transparent.
Yeah. So he's even dropping in the comment. If you're even after a couple months, this is via Kyle. If you're even after a couple months of gambling, just know that you're 99.9% ahead of all other sports bettors.
So Kyle, hire me. No, obviously I ride all of your bets. So it's like, that's how I look. There are a couple times where I'm just like, no, I have this feeling. No, I don't care what his video says. I don't know how funny it is. I don't care how entertaining or how many analytics. There's times I just feel a certain way.
So I was thinking about next year, how we could alter a little bit of how we go about the NFL season. I guess it depends on where we're at in our lives at that point and seeing
where we are in our lives. I'm not having any more kids.
Let's just talk about this off air.
Okay.
In terms of, but I want to do something where it's like, we're not picking the games on Friday anymore. I want to be able to pick on Saturdays or even Sunday mornings. So we have to.
So we're gonna have a Sunday morning show.
Maybe revisit something.
Ooh.
Yeah. Even if it's from our house, like just doing it. Like we have the ability to go remote.
Yes. So, all right. I'm with that.
Yeah. I just got to get better. I want to be able to track my picks not on Friday when there's still a bunch of things that are unknown.
I just know it's easy for me to track because I was there one day and I said $100 FanDuel, like. Let's go, and at one point I was up to 2 something, right? Over 2. And I was like, here we go, bitch. And then one time I was down to $20, right? And I was like, oh Christ.
You know what I need?
It's crazy.
And I had a brief conversation with with Toast and Kyle the day that they were in studio when Toast was here.
Mm.
I need systems set up for me. I need to figure out a way to have my system set up because I would like to track all these things. And I'm
What do you
hearing
mean,
like
a
this
spreadsheet for that or
website, that website, and they're like, oh, I do it all in Excel. And I'm like, how the fuck do you keep up with that on a daily basis? It just seems like a ton of work. But
Oh, esports coming soon coverage. Listen, the Madden Bowl went off the other night. So obviously, I don't know what that's down to, but Madden is. I thought about the other day. I'm like, I miss playing Madden like a lot. I have no time.
you know, the best thing about Madden by far is not the gameplay. It's just franchise mode and running that shit.
Dude,
And, like,
you
I
know,
don't have to ever
I
play
went into
Madden
a
once.
rabbit hole last night on overthecap.com, checking out everybody's free agency numbers, the guarantees, the post June 1st cuts. Like, I went nuts on the salary cap. And a lot of people say the salary cap is a myth or it could be manipulated. Just ask the Saints or just ask the Rams. They've done it a million times. But like, you know, when they Dak Prescott had a clause in his contract where all they had to do was flip the switch and $16 million comes off this year and goes to the back end, right? Because he had no guarantees on the back end. And so now the Cowboys freed up $16 million. And I'm like, how the fuck do they do that? You know, like how do they manipulate this shit? So I started going knee deep in that. And I think I kind of want to make that my thing. You know, just not my thing. Like, you know, I'm not the prop beaver. You know, I'm not going to go in and be like, well, I'm going to show you how they can manipulate the salary cap. I was fascinated by the numbers, how these teams get off doing what they do and some of the value that they're leaving on the table. Like when they cut I don't know, Jalen Smith, right? But the Cowboys have it out this year to cut Cooper and save everything, every dollar, which is nuts. That's the way those things are brought out.
It just depends on where you place the value in the money or the player.
Yeah.
And if you're seeing them get cut, it's clearly the money.
So, in any event, so I'm going to probably get back into the NBA tonight just to go. But speaking of the NBA, I mean, I'm not trying to like buy time here, but Curry, did you see Curry last night? Your boy went off.
Can we put that to bed?
What? It's not your boy?
I like Steph Curry. And at the time,
so I can't call him your boy if you like him?
At the time, I just is all right. No, Steph Curry is not my boy. Like, I don't even put him in my top 10 favorite players active right now. I don't want to have
really.
Yeah, like I like Steph Curry. I like a lot of NBA players though. So there's only like 3 that I dislike, and they're all in the Nets. And that's just by chance because none of them were on the Nets when I started disliking these guys.
What do you say? Dave, someday we'll be able to play again. I'm 52 and my kids are in college and a senior in high school. There's light at the end. Play what?
You said something
Madden.
about yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, you're right. Right now I can't. I got, a little guy and my girl just running around like a mad woman. So yes, I have no time. Every time I do get home, it's bedtime and like let's try to get that process done. That's a fight.
But yeah,
in
Steph
itself.
Curry is not my boy. He's not my guy.
Will the Knicks make the playoffs?
No, not even fucking close. Stop. Evan Fournier has a good game once every 10 months, and everybody's like, oh, AJ, this is to you, by the way, in the chat. When Evan Fournier goes off, he is unstoppable. Whatever you said, it's just that he just doesn't do it often. And I don't want to hear anything about how good the Knicks are or how good they've played in a game against another bad Eastern Conference team. The Knicks are not going to make the playoffs. You want to talk about dying on a hill? I don't think anybody's going to die on that hill. Nobody's going to argue that unless you're a Knicks.
Where are they at right now?
They're like 5 games out of the 8 seed.
Oh, yeah. Not a lot of time to play. I mean, look, they can get hot. They got hot last year. They climbed the ranks relatively fast.
Very different team. Julius Randle was like playing
Not a
gutsy basketball.
Did you see him get
the fans loved him. He didn't hate them.
Did you see him get a fan kicked out for his plus minus numbers? Guy gets up in the 3rd row of Madison Square Garden and goes, yo, you're minus 34. And like Randall looked over to him and looked at the security guy. Get rid of that guy.
Scoop.
Like it's one of those things. What was wrong?
The playoffs means like the teams that win those playing games, then they're the playoff teams. Like don't say that they're the 10 seed in the East and they're the playoffs. Win the play-ins, which they're not even going to be a 10 seed, I don't think.
Now, I hope everybody's listening to what Gooch is saying right now about this 10 seed not being the playoffs. Neither are the Yankees when they're in that playoff game. That's not a postseason game.
It is. Look, playoffs, postseason. Playoff team, like you enter that tournament, you're in the playoffs, right? You're in the postseason when the season ends and you have a game. So there's I guess, semantics here.
All right, fine line between postseason and playoffs because I don't buy it. Let's see. They're currently a half a game out of the play-in game, according to Kyle. So the Knicks are not dead. So everybody pause on that shit because the Knicks are still on.
AJ, I typically don't really ever go after the prop beaver. Me and him have a very good relationship, but Evan Fournier is just one of the creepiest looking individuals I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't understand how someone that unathletic could be in the NBA.
Oh my!
He just looks so
He
unathletic.
just looks like a big ball of putty. Just like, oh, Nick, hey, Carl, happy birthday with the money last night.
No,
There you go.
That's
Dad.
definitely my father.
Or
You
that.
think my brother bets on the NBA? All of a sudden, my dad is now the big
That's right.
NBA
Well,
gambler.
you know, it's kind of hard when you have two Carl Gucci's commenting, and then you have to decipher which one is which. Okay, so I'm gonna go green. Carl is your dad, and the other Carl is your brother. Okay,
Purple.
even that like that one moment in time when my dad commented, and everybody like paused. Do you guys remember my reaction? I was like mad. I was like, somebody hacked my account. Something's happening here,
Dave,
and I was like,
never
oh wait,
you
my
never
dad
get
is
mad.
same
I've
name.
never seen Dave get angry.
I was angry right before the show.
I think you were angry
I've seen
during the
Dave
show.
angry.
Wait, what?
I was
I've
being
just seen you
sarcastic.
angry.
Are you really? You guys don't know me by
I
now?
try very hard not to
Like when
be
I said
angry
when I
anymore.
said Dave doesn't get angry, you were like, I was angry right before the show, as if like I was fucking joking about that. Like I was.
You see
you
how
know?
much I laugh throughout
You
the
know
show?
what though? It doesn't last. Like he'll get mad like that, and he'll walk away for a second and come back and just like, okay.
So look, if there is any Evan Fournier poster that I'm willing to co-sign, would be the one where he was like smelling Kevin Durant's disgusting armpit last year because they got into that beef on the sideline. But he was still in the Celtics. So
Oh my god. Well, look, wait, what's Ken Paulman coming in and say I've never counted the playing game as a playoff game. Right. It's the same thing. My Mets. Talk about a guy who goes in on every Yankee post that he possibly can. He hates the Yankees. Like that is like, I don't hate the Mets. My dad, my bonus mom, they're all Mets fans, bro. Like I root for the Mets. Evan's a Mets fan. Who else? There's a couple Mets fans that I know that I actually like and appreciate. They're out there. I believe what's his face is a Mets fan. Rube. That's what I said. Rube's a Mets fan.
Rube,
Ibby.
you suck as a Mets fan, though. I'm gonna
No,
be honest.
Rube
I love Rube.
Rube.
But his Mets takes and his basically it's just his Yankee hatred. And really, it's like Big Brother, and it happens. It happens. It happens. Sorry, Rube.
Rube goes in. Hey, have you spent all your money yet, bro? That's what I want to know. I hope you invested it properly and bought yourself a house. Thank you, DraftKings. But in any event, I'm just trying to great energy here, folks. That's coming from my boy Mike. You don't hate the Mets because they don't matter, like the Jags. Good point, Scoop. Oh man, Mets fans are the only true baseball fans, according to Kyle. Oh, he's a Mets fan. He is.
Well, first of all, I know
but he'll
that,
wear
I
17
know
different hats
I
on
know-
his
I know-
videos.
Toast
Okay.
from Alaska is a Yankees fan, and
Ah,
I don't
my
know
boy.
of a truer baseball fan than the Toast. And I think that even Kyle will co-sign that. That guy he
Toast
lives
is probably
this
the
shit.
most loyal sports fan to his teams.
Loyal.
It's insane. Yeah.
Did he even? I don't think he went to Gonzaga. He just loves them.
No, but he does have family ties. I had a
Oh,
conversation with him. Yeah.
Okay, because I
So-
mean, he goes hard for Gonzaga, and I did too as a 13-year-old boy. I was like, "This is great."
But
I love this team.
he also loves Miami Hurricanes in football. Gonzaga doesn't have a football team.
They don't. You're right. Good call. We're the last breed. Shut up. All right, with the Mets fan, like just because you guys have hope every year on the same time doesn't make you guys more passionate than the Yankees fan. Yankees fans have this expectation to win it all every year. Every year
I hate
go
to
in-
break it to everybody. Yankees fans and Mets fans are the exact same thing because they're all from the same region, right? They all suck. Half of them like the Giants, and then the other half like the Jets, and then vice versa. So they
Hawaii
all like
Mike
the Knicks.
coming
They all
in.
like the
Holy
Nets. You
shit.
guys, we all suck. I just hate to break it to you. There is no such thing as a better version of a fan or a better fan base. Most fan bases suck. Typically to like their rivals' fan bases.
But the
Let's
Mets
be
and
real.
Yankees aren't rivals to me ever. That'll never be an actual rivalry. That's only a rivalry within the fans. That's it. The Yankee players over there, I'm like, oh, fuck the Mets. Like there's just no
There
ill will whatsoever.
there is a little friendly rivalry. If you don't think that there is, then you're
Why?
wrong.
Because they play in the same city?
I agree.
You know,
that,
like,
I
or
agree that to me
state,
it doesn't really
whatever.
matter. Like, but I want to win every game we play, and typically a little bit more because of the fans. When the fans have the rivalry, it bleeds over into the game. Less now than it ever has because of the way players are these days, where they're all just best friends on the field.
It is your dad.
love
He's
your
coming back.
dad.
I'll wear that comment as being a degenerate person gambler as a badge of honor. Oh, you do that, Mr.
Your
Gooch.
dad's awesome.
Oh,
A
man.
degenerate person. Well, shout out to Dad for
Cleaning it up.
cleaning it up for me because I definitely called you a degenerate piece of shit gambler. Even though we all know that you're not a piece of shit, but you
The Gucci family is just
can be. I guess.
legends in their own minds, according to Gooch. Lots of fan bases are vile and
In
fickle.
fact, I'm like the last thing that's the last thing I would ever call myself as a legend. Maybe like my dad definitely thinks he's a legend.
Your mother's a legend.
My mother is a legend,
You're right.
right? But that's not in her mind.
Oh,
Same thing. right? You said in their own minds. I'm like, I have self-loathing more so than
Stimmy OG. Gooch, don't trip on your pops gambling. I have my mother-in-law putting her Stimmy check on the games.
the Stimmy OG has had.
Stimmy OG has
Like,
come
if
through.
we can make
again.
a Hall of Fame or a Wall of Fame of comments that from the comment section, Stimmy OG has been on like 3 or 4 of them.
Yes,
Right? 3 or 4
literally
out of top 10.
his what was his story? He literally placed his first Stimmy check as a
and then like his girls stimulus check.
Holy shit. You're right. That's so terrible.
I'm like a team. I'm like a first half team total.
Following the
Yeah.
toast, following the toast, and going on Dartmouth in the first half, like basketball.
legends only.
Yo, we are absolutely blessed with some of the greatest characters within Chop Sports, within this chat here, and obviously on Chop Sports, the Facebook group. If you're not part of the Facebook group, go over there and be a part of that and get mad at everybody. And just because there are a cast of characters in there that rub people the wrong way each and every day, and so if you can tolerate it, go for it. I've taken my energy away from the Facebook group. I got tagged today, right? About a post. And like the kid, I'm not gonna put any names out there, but he's like, hey man, you've suspended this guy for less. Get him out. First of all, I've never suspended anybody from the group unless you literally like Miss Cleo all the time. Like, go me now. Like, you're like, who the fuck
I
is
kicked
this?
out
And
the
why is it here?
LeBron guy, and I had to pay a steep price on that because he trolled me on fucking every platform.
YouTube. He was one of the
on
first ones on
YouTube and
YouTube.
everything. And honestly, it had me rethinking a lot of things in terms of like, my haircut
Should
and the
we
way I
not
said
do
that.
this podcast?
The way I said
at all?
S on the podcast, like he had me all fucked up. But it was a matter of just getting past it, and he actually now made me better at it. So thank you, you piece of shit, for trolling me
You make
in the
me
early
better.
going.
Mike's coming. Speaking of baseball, MLB show. The show drops April 5th. Nice, great Diamond Dynasty mode. I'm liking it because I just wish I could have time to play. Maybe when I'm old and grayer, I'll be able to do that. Put his girlfriend Stimmy check the entire thing on NBA regular season game. Who tonight? Kyle, you want to drop one right here and now in the chat? You can do that if you feel fit that you want to do that.
Let's not make any qualms about this. Like my father's asking Kyle, he's got the subscription. Dad, just keep your eyes peeled. That bell. My father watches YouTube more than any person on the face of the earth. And I'm not even saying that as a joke.
Wait, he what? I'm sorry.
He watches more YouTube. Remember, I was like, I watch a lot of YouTube. My dad watches a lot of YouTube.
Is he a sit at
like
computer guy, or is he on his phone?
If you have any questions about benefits, Stimmy OG, maybe you should help my father if you're looking for another Stimmy, because my dad will get you that fucking Stimmy, bro. Right? What state do you live in? He'll be like, what state? What state do you live in? And he knows like every rule about all the unemployment, but he can't find his own socks in the morning. He needs my mother for that. So, as we put the rest of the whole Gucci
Put
family.
the Gucci family to rest. Come on, Kyle. Look at it. He's like getting nasty.
Give it to me.
I'm about to upload one to YouTube in 20 minutes. So there you go. In 20 minutes, you can head on over. You can actually find Kyle's YouTube channel if you don't have it already, which if you don't, I don't know what you've been missing this entire time, but it's actually linked on our YouTube channel right here. So click on that, subscribe to us, subscribe to him. He does a VIP service, literally $1 a day, $1 a day. And you can get VIP access and win 9 out of 10 games like Kyle did last night. But I'm going to go in tonight. I know what's going to happen. I just know it. So when I come in here and I'm pissed off, we have a big show tomorrow, a big moment in time. I don't know when the Washington football team are going to release their team name and
Hope
mascot.
we didn't pull our big Adam Schefter moment.
We might have an Adam Schefter moment that is just catastrophic because we put out what we knew and what we found out based off our sources. We put it out there on the Twitterverse and it reached 250,000 accounts. So we're either going to be the most loved people and be like, wow, these Chop Sports guys, they know their shit. I can't believe they got that shit a month in advance, right? Or they're going to look at us and say, these guys don't know anything.
Wasn't this the guy that was just talking shit about Adam Schefter
Yes.
for a full year?
Right. I am going to officially get roasted beyond belief. I'm well prepared for it. I might not sleep tonight, but the more it goes on, the more time that goes on. Like Joe Theismann yesterday was on record saying it's the Commanders. He went on. He's like, I like the Commanders.
I don't think he went on record.
I
think he's maybe losing it a little bit.
It's Joe Theismann after all.
And he didn't mean to do all that. And he was like,
You think he leaked it by accident?
Oh yeah, dude. It's not up to him to leak that.
He's a legend.
He was just asking. He was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Wait, what's today?" And like, it seems like he realized after he said it, like, "Damn it." Damn it, I broke my head, not just my leg.
Oh,
He's not
man.
doing well now.
Kyle, Spurs +2 against Chris's boy toy. Chris's boy toy Steph. Warriors on a back-to-back road games. Spurs rested and healthy. There's the play of the day right there. Even I can understand that one. On the whole back-to-back road games. Joe LaCory coming in. It's called balance, Chris. So I don't know which one.
I think that's in reference to my dad watching a lot of YouTube and not knowing how to find his own socks.
Yes, definitely.
But that's what moms do.
They
so.
find all the shit.
Only that she's not your mom, bro. She's mine. Fall the fuck back. It's getting creepy.
You can't have her. Anyway, how about we call it a show after that comment? But again, subscribe to this YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Like this video in particular. It helps with the search and whatever algorithms YouTube decides to put out there. We're trying to get the subscriptions up. We got a couple more last night. That's crawling at a nice little pace here. So we want to really make a surge. And, so if you like our content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Catch us every day, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning. We go live. I know some of you are working. Some of you are not working. Some of you are working from home. Some of you are literally teaching or at like ISS, like our boy Scott Simmons was for a little while. People are tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much.
That's where I met Ken Paulman. He was teaching and I was in ISS and he was the ISS teacher.
This whole time I thought Ken Paulman was like our age.
No, I mean, he's a younger guy. He's not our age.
I mean,
he's older than
me. If he was in ISS and you were the student.
But he was a very young teacher at that point.
Okay.
Like it was like getting his start.
Okay.
So he didn't have a class. He was just going in the ISS.
I know he's big on his son's sports. So maybe he was a little older than me because obviously all my kids, listen to that.
Oh,
my
Scoop, tennis, let's do it. Let's find a place to go. Club of Woodbridge still got tennis courts or
no, they knocked it down to put the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, I'm down with anything. I do wanted to comment though. I did want to
guys.
comment because there was some guy when we were asking for Rumble predictions last week, and I'm only going to bring this up because he nailed it. Did he not lose in the day and then come back? No,
I said that.
That was Dave.
That was Rob Bohannon. We could pull it up.
But
They said
I
it,
also
like, the
I
same
said, it
time.
was simultaneously said that
Oh.
it was going to happen.
No,
But shout out to Rob, a big wrestling guy.
Rob
Check
came
out
in and
Chop
he was
Heads.
like, "What's your Rumble prediction?" And he said losing to Batista. Did he wrestle Batista?
Bobby Lashley. Go
Bobby
ahead.
Lashley.
But I'm like getting on him like this asshole doesn't know.
The fuck! I'm actually proud of not knowing. So that you're not knocking me right there.
Are you gonna be that guy? Like, oh, you're a loser, wrestling?
No. I'm just like I don't care to know, and me saying it publicly is only confirming that I don't care to know. And no, I don't care.
All right, so shout out to Rob for getting it right. He's not in the chat today, so I don't know where the hell he's been.
But he is one of those guys that will catch up and listen. So Rob, good shit.
Ken went to high school with my bro. Well, coming from Janine. Well, Janine, I thought you were like 32, 33.
I like how we
so.
bypassed why Gooch was constantly in ISS because honestly, I just didn't give a shit. I really didn't. I was
What's
late a lot.
ISS?
I was late a lot, and like most of my friends were already dropped out. I was staying in school for sports, because my
You were
friends
that guy,
scumbags.
taking all the eligibility out.
I cared. I wasn't like out there to be a scumbag, but my friends were all scumbags. So the best option for me was to be late to school every day, get detentions, let detention stack up. I would never go to detention because I had practice, and then they would give me ISS. So I was like, oh, ISS is so much better than regular class. They would just give me my work. I would sit with Ken Paulman or like Mike Moyer. I would do fantasy football. My work would be done in minutes because I'm brilliant. And I would just sit there and just crunch numbers and listen to my Walkman, right? And spit in a cup, cutting weight for wrestling. All these things are who made me who I am.
Mike is breaking it down. ISS, he goes in school. Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know what that was.
Oh, that's when you don't do enough bad to say like you're suspended from school. ISS, you just sit in the same room all day. You don't get to go to any of your classes.
Great.
I might have had ISS once in my entire life, and it was the worst experience of my life because I'm social. There was no phones back then, and
it was also great because like I
talked to
wasn't
nobody.
I was like this.
Solitary confinement.
Here's me. I was definitely like a punk, like a little wise ass, but I was well liked by a lot of the teachers as well. It's just like some of them didn't like me, and the ISS teachers definitely liked me. So your dad didn't even know you were in ISS. He goes, if I only knew. If he knew. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
But, boy.
Yeah, I was cool with them, so I would get to go if they needed me to do something. I was going to other people's classes to pick up their work, so I was like spending the whole day in the hallway.
Yo, Kyle, I find it hard to believe there's no way Scoop is athletic enough to play tennis. And then he's like, let's play doubles. So what's the teams? Like, What's the team? Is it going to be? Are you going to team up with Kyle? There's no way.
First of all, I am all over the court. All right,
So you're cutting in front of Kyle. You were like Kelly Lee from like Bad News Bears.
Kyle could just stay up at the net, right? And if he gets anything within reach, knock it down, big fella, right? But I got this back end over
So who's
here,
teaming up
right?
with Kyle? With Scoop?
You.
Fuck, I don't play tennis.
You could have 2 people. How about that? You, Scoop, and somebody
Just
else.
4 guys
and
covering
I
the court.
will run you motherfuckers. How about you, Scoop, and Kyle against me?
First of all, you'd lose.
You're dead.
You'd lose.
You guys would get killed. I promise you. I promise you.
Stop. I mean,
Stop.
That's a
no practice. Like, we're gonna go to the courts and we're gonna play, and you're gonna grab a racket for the first time, and then you're dead. I promise you, you're dead. You're dead.
These comments. Oh my.
You're dead.
Wait. So, all right, Kyle and Scoop, do you guys accept? Will it be 3-on-1 in tennis?
Dead.
You're crazy,
Like
bro.
this.
Oh my goodness.
Kyle is now, he's not only the white Serena Williams, so he's like a white female tennis player. He's also a porpoise. He's a bottlenose dolphin, according to the Asbury Park Press. Because if you didn't see yesterday that Kyle posted the clip that Asbury Park wrote about him when he was an all-state swimmer in high school.
Wait, is that the thing?
Yeah, bro.
Wait, where is that?
He was nicknamed the bottlenose dolphin by the Asbury Park Press in 2007.
I thought he just said that. Like,
no,
he pulled up the article?
bro.
He's got receipts.
He was all Atlantic Ocean, first team selection.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm getting blown up by JoJo.
Who? JoJo who?
We'll talk after.
All right. Anyway, holy shit. Live broadcast is a must. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. If this goes down, it will be broadcasted on our Facebook, on our YouTube.
You hear that, lady?
Live broadcast. I'm even going to get some
if.
commentators. Maybe we'll mic ourselves up so you can hear us. That'll be an event. Oh, boy. I'm like crying here. Oh, fuck.
I just can't wait to be there to witness it. You know I gotta be there.
Oh yeah, no, just fine.
It's
It'll be
gonna be so
we'll
good.
sell tickets. It'll be for charity. This will be a showdown. This whole thing is gonna get a lot bigger than what you thought. Just so you know, I would be an Olympian if I didn't pop up. The bottlenose dolphin. That's incredible. All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been a great show. Please like the video, as Ashley has told you 16 times within this entire thread. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate you guys every single day. It's a lot of fun to come in and talk sports. Tom Brady retires from the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. We'll celebrate that more tomorrow. We'll give some, again, big day for us. We'll see when they're going to announce it. Maybe it'll be literally live, simultaneous announcements on our show as it's happening. So that'll be interesting. We'll have Dina on the prowl over there with the interwebs, and we'll see what goes down. So for Sturch and Gooch and Dina, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Is that Kyle?